Here are some simple steps to solving equations. The first step is to simplify if it needs to be, which includes changing the problem to addition, removing any parentheses, and adding like terms. The second step is if something is being added to the variable, then add the opposite to both sides. The third step is to simplify. The fourth step is if a number is being multiplied to the variable, then multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Then simplify, and that should be your answer. And the last step is to check your problem. Here are a couple problems to try in solving equations. The first one is 18 equals -5 plus r. So we're going to look at the first step. The first step says to change it to addition. It's already addition, so we don't need to worry about that. Remove parentheses, and there are no parentheses, so we can skip that. And add like terms. We have no like terms up here on the same side of the equals, so we get to move on to step 2. The second step tells us that if a number is being added to the variable, then add the opposite to both sides. Well, if we look at our equation, the number -5 is being added to the variable, so we need to add that to both sides. The first thing that we need to do is copy down the problem, just like it is. Always line up the equal signs. So we've got -5 plus r, and if we add the opposite of -5 to both sides, that would be 5. We want to always add the opposite because our goal is to get rid of everything else that's on the same side of the equal sign as the variable. And it is sharing the same side with a -5, so if we add a +5 to both sides, we can cancel this out. So to simplify, which is the third step, the 5 and the -5 will cancel out, leaving us with r. Then on the other side, we just need to add 18 and 5. If we add those two numbers together, we get 23. So that is our answer, because when we go down to the next step, if a number is being multiplied to the variable, well, we don't have anything being multiplied up here. So we don't have to worry about step 4 or 5. Now our last step is to check the problem. In order to check the problem, we just write it out exactly as it was to begin with. So does 18 equal -5 plus, and then instead of the variable, we're going to take that out and replace it with the answer, which is 23. Now, if 18 does equal -5 plus 23, then that lets us know that we did it correctly. And -5 plus 23 is 18, so yes. Okay, I have another problem for us to try. E plus 17 equals 66 plus 31. Well, the first step, simplifying, change it to addition if needed. It's already addition, so we can skip that step. Remove parentheses. There aren't any. Add like terms. Now we do have some like terms on the same side of the equals. On the right side we have 66 and 31. So we can go ahead and combine those two numbers together. 66 plus 31 is 97. And then just write the rest of the equation. Okay, we're ready for step 2. If a number is being added to the variable, so we look at the problem and the variable is e, and yes, there's a number being added, 17. So what we have to do is add the opposite to both sides. So to get rid of a +17, we have to add a -17. If we add it to this side of the equation, we have to add it to the other side of the equation to keep it equal. So -17, this cancels out. We are left with e. And on the other side, 97 plus -17 is 80. Step 4 tells us that if something's being multiplied to the variable, if we look up here, there's nothing being multiplied, so we get to skip that one, and we are done with this problem, all except for checking it. Remember, in order to check, we rewrite the original problem, taking out the variable and replacing it with the answer. So we take out the e and replace it with 80. Does 80 plus 17 equal 66 plus 31. If these two things are equal, then we know that we've done our problem correctly. So 80 plus 17 is 97, and 66 plus 31 is 97, so yes, it does. We know that we did the problem correctly. Okay, I have another type of problem to show you. Sometimes we're asked to solve for a variable when there are other variables already in the equation. It looks pretty difficult, but it's okay because we just follow the same steps that we followed for the other problem. We simplify, which means changing it to addition, removing parentheses, and adding like terms, but that's already done, so we don't have to worry about it. Step 2 says if a number is added to the variable, add the opposite to both sides. So the variable is v that we're trying to solve for, and there is something being added to it. There's 4 and j. So we rewrite the problem, lining up the equal sign. And now we have to get rid of the 4 because we only want v in this problem on the right side of the equal sign. So to get rid of 4, we add a -4. If we add -4 to the right side of the equation, we have to add a -4 to the left side of the equation. Now we also have j being added to the variable, so we have to add the opposite of j to both sides. Now the next step is to simplify. If we simplify it out, on the right side of the equation, our 4 and the -4 will cancel out, just like we wanted it to, and the j and the opposite of j will cancel out, just like we wanted it to. So that leaves us with v on the right side. On the left side, we have no like terms, nothing that we can add together or combine, so the answer is simply opposite of j plus -4 plus n. We know that this is our answer because step 4 has to do with multiplication, and there is no multiplication in this problem, so therefore we are done except for the check. So in order to check it, we follow the same steps. We rewrite the problem, replacing the v with what v equals. So we'll write n, and then take the v out, and I'm going to put it in parentheses. Opposite of j plus -4 plus n. And then we continue writing the problem, plus 4 plus j. Well, if we add like terms, we do have like terms because we have 2 j's and we have 2 4's. This one is negative and this one is positive, so we can cancel them out. And then we have a -4 and a +4, and they cancel out. And here's what's left. Does n equal n? And yes, it does. N equals n. So we are finished with that problem.